Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
You know, the captain of the Titanic saw part of an iceberg, just the tip of the iceberg. He didn't know how much was underneath. And when we see issues in your pet, you know, sometimes it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's other things going on. For instance, if your dog is vomiting, it may be due to liver or kidney functions not being up to where they should be. So the liver isn't able to detox the body correctly. Kidneys aren't eliminating waste. So we're having that issue. So what could be happening is that the rest of the iceberg is huge. And so if we can go in at the bottom of the iceberg or at the nervous system and control that, then what's going to happen is we're going to melt the bottom of that iceberg, and the tip of the iceberg, those symptoms that we're seeing, will dissolve too. Okay? But until we take care of the base, the bottom, the big problems with the iceberg, we're never going to get your animal fixed. Your animal's nervous system gets overloaded. It's just like your fuse box in your house. You know, you plug too many things into one circuit and the lights go out. And you got to go, you could put it, you know, go flip the breaker and then everything comes back on. And that's the only way it works, is when we clip the breaker. Yes, we need to find out what's causing the breaker to trip. You know, unplug one thing. So get rid of some stress. That's why your animal's not holding his adjustment like he should. So we recommend exercises. That's like unplugging one thing from the breaker. We get your animal to be more symmetrical, so that he's more symmetrical and so that the breakers aren't being blown all the time. So he's not subluxating himself or herself, and so that then she can go longer between chiropractic adjustments. All right. I'm going to show you a few things, how you can determine if your animal is starting to get out of alignment so that you'll know when it's time to come back in and get readjusted. So those are some of the things that we're going to do, because the important part is that communication. Just like when you plug something in, the electricity has to go from the electric company to your house, to the fuse box, to the light. That all has to happen in order for the light to come on. If it doesn't, you blow a breaker. So it's all about communication.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book, Yes, It's Really a Thing.
Your active dog needs more than water to rehydrate. Replenish Dog Water Supplement is an all-natural powdered water flavoring, prevents dehydration and provides vitamins for your dog. Created by a veterinarian and rooted in science. Give your dog the care they deserve with Replenish.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is animal chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the #1 hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Standard Process is a third-generation family-owned company in rural Wisconsin. You could say we just make nutritional supplements, but we know we're changing lives. We grow ingredients on our own certified organic farm without pesticides or herbicides because we think they should be as close to nature as possible. Quality is our priority. That's why we do everything right here, from hand-picking the seeds to delivery, so you know exactly what goes into every bottle.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O. Thank you all for tuning in. Our guest on Who's in Animal Chiropractic, Dr. Moser. Dr. Moser, welcome.
Hi, thanks, Dr. Bill. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being on the podcast today.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your practice?
My practice is a little bit unique, but I think that's one of the beauties of being an animal chiropractor is the uniqueness of everybody's different clinic and setup and things like that. So I currently practice in the Daytona Beach area, so it's nice and sunny. We have great weather. I do a lot of work with dogs and cats. I do see some exotics as well, but my major focus is on food-producing animals. And then I also do equine. So I'm really, really passionate about the food that we eat and we take into our body and how we can make that better and better. And one of the ways that I've discovered through ACES is the ability for us to do chiropractic adjustments to improve the overall health, well-being of the animal, and then make it tastier on the back end. So that's a really fun thing that I get to do with this job. So thank you guys.
All right. Tell us some of your biggest wins with animal chiropractic.
Oh gosh, biggest wins. This is something that you guys do a lot with ACES, and it's a really good thing. I really enjoy that you guys do it because it so much so we a lot of times focus on the things that went wrong in our lives or that particular day and kind of get stuck in that negative loop. So the first thing you guys usually ask us is a big win. So that reinforces those good things that happen and get to hear other people's stories. And there's so many stories that I have that animal chiropractic has allowed me to do, not only for myself, to make me feel better, seeing my patient feel better, but for seeing, giving life back to these animals, whether it's, somebody's 5-pound Chihuahua that, is having seizures and not walking to all of a sudden after a couple of adjustments, it's getting to go on car rides and play and dress up and princess with the kids, to a horse that I got called out to actually euthanize for an actual whiplash injury. And after 3 adjustments, that 20-year-old horse was up running around and biting the mare that was out in the yard with him. And that was his normal behavior beforehand. So to see that and to see the families that this helps is really a big thing for me. I've had moms come and hug me and cry on my shoulder because they thought that there was nothing else that they could do for their animals, and they were preparing their children to, say goodbye. And after, that first adjustment, you know how important that atlas is. You get that sucker back in there, and then you just watch the lights turn on, and come back and watch the amount of comfort come back for these animals. And you get a little card later from, the 10-year-old daughter saying, "Thank you for giving me my puppy back." It really tugs on the heartstrings. So, you think when you're going into this, you're just going in to provide a service, but you don't realize the life-changing impacts that this has on these families. And then the stories and the referrals that I've gotten are from instances like this. It's not necessarily me going out and advertising as an animal chiropractor, because when you first hear that, people don't always know what that is or know that that's a thing. And then you get somebody that you do an adjustment for and you see that pet get better, and then the next thing you know, you've got people calling to schedule appointments with you because this lady said that you helped her dog, and you can see video evidence of the dog or the horse laying there suffering, and then within a couple visits they're up back playing around. And that's just really incredible to know and to be able to have that ability. And I can't thank you guys enough for teaching myself and every other graduate this skill so that we can really change lives.
Okay. All right. So dogs, horses, give me an exotic.
So I actually had a bearded dragon come in for an injury on a leg, and was able to talk the owners into letting me adjust that. And that was interesting. They're very spiky.
And how's he doing?
He's doing great. I actually see him Thursday for a recheck, so I'm super excited.
Cool. That's our exotic. And then how about food animal?
Let's see. I've done a whole bunch of chickens, not just with you guys. I've done 2 turkeys. I've done a bunch of alpacas, a whole lot of small ruminants, or sheep and goats, a bunch of cattle, and I've actually done a couple emu.
Okay, cool. Now, you came to Food Animal Weekend. How different is adjusting food animals? I mean, everything has a spine, right? It's just all the same, isn't it?
Well, yeah, so everything does have a spine, but knowing how that particular spine interacts with gravity. And, like I said, I've done chickens and turkeys and emus. So those things with feathers and wings instead of, 4 legs on the ground, definitely was different in how you hold them safely, and then adjust them accordingly. And then as far as your other large animal, safety is a big thing. And so you need to make sure that, one, you're getting the correct line of drive, but two, that you're doing that safely so that you're not going to get injured. Because, I can't necessarily tell this, 2,000-pound bull, excuse me, sir, hold still while I adjust your neck, like, your human chiropractor can say, hold still, take a deep breath, 1, 2, 3, and give you your adjustment. So, knowing how to do it properly and safely is definitely a big thing.
Yes, cool. All right. What do you wish that all the animal owners in Daytona Beach area knew?
I wish that they all knew they could call me for adjustments, and we could get that set up. especially my food producing guys. That's my biggest passion.
Yeah. Yeah. So why should we adjust our food producing animals? I mean,
oh gosh, where to start with that question? So, ideally when we have these food producing animals, the idea is we have, say a mama cow, and it's her job to get pregnant, to have a calf, that then either stays on as another cow to produce more offspring, or it enters the food chain, which then goes to feed not only the US but worldwide. So anything that I can do to, one, make that animal more healthy without the use of drugs, so that then there's no meat withdrawal, milk withdrawal, anything like that, I think is a huge benefit. Two, if I can increase the health, then I can also increase the reproductive rate, and then you have impacts on milk output, how many pounds per day, and the rate of gain for these calves. So you're getting these calves or these chickens, or pigs even, to their weaning weight quicker. So that decreases your expense for the producer, gets these products out to market quicker, and just increases that turnover for these guys. So yes, chiropractic does cost money, but I'm saving a lot of time and feed bill for these guys to get these products out to market sooner at a higher, say weaning weight than they would have been before. And then we're also increasing the quality of the product. So it's not just that they're growing bigger faster, it's they're laying down more appropriate, it ultimately better tasting muscling that we as a consumer then get to enjoy.
yeah, we tell people that all the time, and they look at us funny, and it's in a peer-reviewed journal, which I know for, some of you listeners out there don't really care about peer-reviewed journals, but some of you listeners out there, in our world, peer review journal is like, oh my God, that's like the gold standard, right? I mean, if it's not in a peer-reviewed journal, it doesn't happen. And so we know in pigs, chiropractically adjusted pigs, they save $1,500 in a herd of 20 sows over 1 year. So over on vet bills and food costs, and that's huge. $1,500 in 20 sows.
Yeah, and what pig farm is only 20 sows?
Right. Well, it was a free range small pig, but yes. So if you
Right.
did it on a larger scale, it's huge. And then we know that chickens, and this study's been done several times now, but we know that chickens gain weight faster. They get to market weight faster. Our free range chickens that are a black broiler, so they're not the super fast growing chicken, they make it to market in 114 days when they're not chiropractically adjusted, but 92 days when they are.
Yeah.
So that's, over 2 weeks worth of food that we don't have to feed them. And at $30 a bag and a bag per day for 50 chickens, that's pretty significant. That 2 weeks is huge in there. So that's a pretty big deal there. And then we know that 74% of people prefer chiropractically adjusted chicken. And people look at me and they say, what? Yes, 74% of people prefer chiropractically adjusted chickens. And some 4-H kids did that study. Up in Kansas, they did a study where an animal chiropractor adjusted their 4-H chickens, half of them and not the other half. And they had them butchered and all made into chicken strips. And then they, fried them. And then people walking down the fair midway were given 2 chicken strips. And it was, here you go. And 74% said we like the chiropractically adjusted chicken better, but it should have less stress hormone. It, definitely has no drugs in it, and, all kinds of stuff that are positive that we know happens when you get chiropractically adjusted. So yeah, it's huge. And more producers just need to hear about it, really, because like you said earlier, a lot of people are just still at, oh man, is that really a thing? And it's like, yes, it really is a thing. And so,
yeah, it's a very remarkable thing.
Yeah. What do you tell veterinarians that say, oh, I don't believe in animal chiropractic?
Let me show you.
Give
me one patient. Let me show you.
All right, cool.
And it's amazing how quickly they start to warm up.
Well, so, a lot of veterinarians, support staff say, hey, there's no way I have time to take a 250-hour class and do animal chiropractic. And it's way too expensive. It'll never pay for itself. What do you have to say for those people?
I was working, oh gosh, what was that? Like 80 hours a week when I enrolled in ACEs. And within a year, I completed 101. I went to the animal adjusting and sat for the ABCA exam, all within 1 calendar year while working self-employed, doing relief shifts, and everything else. I was able to get it done, and it has already, in less than a year, it paid for itself.
Cool. So definitely, I had, most people are less than a year. We actually had a student tell us the other day, she did it in 2.5 weeks. He said, now, I know, I was like, whoa. She said, and just for you too, it's like anybody, what your, what do you call it? Your results may not be these, blah, 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 because you have to put in some effort. She was at the barn at 4 o'clock, horse barn, every morning, adjusting horses for that 2.5 weeks. And she'd do that from 4 till 9. And then she went to school. And then when she got out of school, she went back to a different horse barn and adjusted horses that night. And she paid for it. And it was just floored me when she said that. It was like, whoa, man. So were you, and I don't remember, were you always on the planning committee for the AABP, the bovine producers, or is that a new thing?
No, so that's a new thing. I had helped plan one of the recent grad committees, but this is the first time that I have been involved with the big AABP annual conference, and on the planning committee for that. So it's a very exciting thing. We have new topics, kind of going to shake things up, and you have graciously agreed to come and do a talk for us. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and you educating these, food animal veterinarians. So I'm super excited for that.
Well, one of the things that I look at when I see you is how you've grown. Because, I'm not sure that the Dr. Moser that came to ACES on the first lab would have done even that little teaching the new grad thing. And then now you did the teaching the new grad, and and you're on the National Bovine Practitioners Committee to plan their conference. And, I'm seeing like huge.
Yeah,
You know,
it's been very interesting, and I'm very, very blessed and very, very happy. But yeah, definitely was super nervous. When you guys met me the first time, and I think it's not only through life experiences, coaching from different aspects, but I think that really finding this animal chiropractic has really helped me step more into myself, my dreams, my values that are at my core that I didn't necessarily know were there or know how to express those, until I found you guys and started taking to the classes, coming to lab, and then going home back to my practice and starting to have those conversations with clients and figure out, how do I tell somebody who's never heard of chiropractic that, I don't need to give your horse the shot. I need to touch it with my hands, and I can help fix it and bring life back. And then these people are then in turn seeing how much that this has helped their animal, and they're going to a human chiropractor to get adjustments for them and their whole family, and it's just, I think in doing that and seeing that ripple effect, has really helped build my confidence. And I think that's why you see the Dr. Moser that you see today, is because of that.
yes, those ripple effects are huge. You never know. On Christmas Day, I got a text from a human chiropractor. And so back in August, he had shared my story about my son, Riley, that had epilepsy for 37 years, and about how I wish he'd found chiropractic sooner. And I shared that story. And anyway, back in August, he sent me a text and said, "Hey, I had a client that was coming in every week, getting himself adjusted. And I knew he had a son. Didn't know how old he was for sure, but he was 5 years old and had about 100 seizures a day. So last week, I got to adjust his son, and he's gone 1 week seizure free." That was in August. And on Christmas Day, I got a text message that said, "Hey, guess what? He had a seizure-free Christmas. He hasn't had a seizure since August. And his dad brings him in every week and says, get his atlas cleared, because that's important." And so you never know, who knows what that kid's going to do now, because he's going to be getting off seizure medication, and he's going to be able to live a normal life. And, if you're on seizure medication, you can't drive. So he's going to have a chance to drive a car and live a normal life. You know?
It's amazing. All because we opened our mouth
Yep.
and
And
stared.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. And it doesn't have to be. I had a nurse in here today and she was asking all these drug questions, and with her dog. And I'm like, she said, well, we had some stuff on hand. And so we went ahead and gave it to him. We know we were supposed to be in here last week, but, we missed because of holidays. So we're here now. And so instead of rechecking in a week, we went 2 weeks. And I said, well, when did you have to give them? Well, it was about 10 days. And I said, okay. Well, if we'd have made our appointment, we wouldn't have to do that. And she says, well, what do you think about it? And I said, well, it's going to kill about 1 in 100,000 dogs. I said, if that's your dog and you're okay with it, then go ahead and give it. And she looked at me and she said, what do you mean? I said, we know it kills 1 in 100,000 dogs. It's right on the label. So if that one dog happens to be yours, are you going to be happy or upset? And okay, well, I guess we should throw that stuff away, huh? Yeah, probably. So anyway, yep. Yeah. So it's kind of puts things in a different light.
Yeah, it
Kind of
definitely
puts things in a different light. So, all right. Well, how do we get a hold of you if I got a cow or a pig or a cat or a horse or a dog that needs to be adjusted?
So the easiest way right now is through my email, and that is trmvetc@gmail.com, or you can like and follow my Facebook or Instagram. It's the Rolling M Chiropractic Clinic. You'll see a nice picture of me and some sort of creature on there. But yeah, you'll see lots of information, links to different resources, and it'll be linked to my website soon.
All right, we'll have all that on there. It'll all be in it was in the meme at the beginning. There'll be another meme here after the end. You'll be able to get all that information or check afterwards. So, thank you for your time, Doc. We appreciate it. And everybody out there listening, any last words of wisdom before we go?
Don't wait. Don't wait to take the class. Don't wait to have the conversation. Don't wait to do the adjustment. You don't realize how big of an impact not waiting can happen.
All right. Thank you so much. And all of you out there, remember, the body heals one way and one way only: above, down, inside out. Keep your atlas adjusted and keep smiling. All right. Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.